Hey Wildlings, I hope you're doing well. It's been a little while since we last spoke. I just wanted to jump on here quickly and give you guys a little update about some changes that are coming to the channel. So if you follow me on Instagram, which is just the Celtic Faery, the same way it's spelt here on YouTube, you'll know that I've literally just finished, hallelujah, my masters, which I've been doing for the last year at the Eden Project. And that was in land and ecological restoration, and it has been a lot of hard work and a lot of juggling responsibilities this last year, so that is why I haven't been able to be very consistent on the channel. And then the 4 years prior to that, I was doing my undergraduate in zoology at the University of Exeter, which was also super intense. I've absolutely loved them both, and they've been so rewarding, and I can't wait to enter this new chapter now of leaving academia and going out into the world and actually being able to put things into practice that I've been learning the last few years. It is the biggest passion of mine alongside my practice, and if anything, my studies support my practice, because my craft of Green Witchcraft, Celtic Shamanism, Hedge witchcraft, however you want to sort of place it in a label, is hugely driven by my love and my passion for conservation of my local landscape and my local biodiversity. So it's just another aspect of it, really. So I have been heavily focused on the scientific side, if you will, the last few years, whilst tending to my personal craft as well. But now that's all coming to an end, which is quite scary but also really exciting. But it has meant that there's been periods throughout the last few years on the channel where I haven't been able to upload as regularly as I wanted to, or as consistently as I wanted to. So thank you all for everyone that has been on this little journey with me. But now I feel like it is time to start a new chapter on the channel, just as things are changing in my professional and my personal life. So too, I feel a change with the content on the channel. So that's what I just wanted to update you on quickly. So the last couple of years that I've been uploading, I tended to do sort of readings, and I absolutely love doing those, and I'm still definitely going to be conducting readings. I'm actually going to start offering private sessions now, so you will be able to get your Sacred Grove readings. I'll have a link tree set up, so you'll be able to find access to what I'll be offering over there. So we can do Sacred Grove readings that can include tarot, oracle, runic and ogham divinations. So that will be coming up soon, and I will still do readings here on the channel, but I think the way that I'm going to do it moving forward, I'm probably going to approach it more for videos on the channel in terms of the readings, to do the Sacred Grove readings around the time of the Esbats, the Sabbats, sacred days, special astrological days, or if I just sort of feel particularly called to doing one, then I will do it more in that format rather than trying to do it as a weekly thing or an ongoing consistent thing. So that's the first change to the channel, and I think the way that I will do the readings, it will be, rather than separate readings for all the signs, I will just amalgamate them all into one video for that Esbat, that Sabbat, whatever special time period I choose to sort of do it for, to mark. So you'll be able to find all of the readings probably on one video instead, and I'll just do shorter ones. And then if you want the longer readings where we can go much more in depth like I do here on the channel in my past videos, then we can look at doing some private readings together if that's something that interests you. And so what I want to do with the channel now is to make it a much more intimate space where I can share with you guys my personal practice, my personal craft with the green folk, how I communicate with them, how I sit in ritual with them, how I do landscape interaction on a magical level, and share altar work, ritual work, spirit work, all of those things. I really want to just share and just give something out there that might inspire someone to go down their own path and investigate these types of relationships with the landscape, because there is so much information out there now, and I've done years and years of study on my own personal path, so I know how overwhelming it can be to try and find things that resonate, or to even just navigate the sheer volume of information. And sometimes it can be really nice to just find a video format where you can just get a little bit of inspiration, and then you can take that away and then incorporate that into your own craft however you see fit and however feels good for you. So I really just want to make it more of a sharing platform and have a lot more interaction with you guys, and start to hopefully find a like-minded community who also are really interested in communicating with the green folk. Obviously I live here in Britain, so that is why with my ancestry I'm really focused on the Celtic aspects of the craft, but there is green folk everywhere in the world. It is your local land spirits, the sacred spirits of place, the fae, the she, all of those types of creatures, the elementals, the stone people. There's just honestly so many beings out there that I feel really want to communicate with us now, because of the condition of our environment and how we've mistreated it, or previous generations have unknowingly made their mistakes in terms of how they've interacted with it more recently, and the damages that we've started to inflict, because it not only impacts us now on a human level, as we're starting to see with more of these extreme climate change events, but these things have a ripple effect out into the spirit world as well. There is so many things in distress now that I have experienced, and we can look to folklore definitely to gain an insight into past relationships between humankind and the other folk. But I do feel that obviously an element of it has been made to seem, I don't want to say fantastical, but just make it more interesting for a storytelling aspect, and that can sometimes create a lot of fear in people when they approach working with the other folk. And we can talk about this more on the channel anyway, because there's definitely ways to go about interacting with them, because there is a lot of mischievous energy out there as well. But I think that we're in a very different place right now than we were hundreds of years ago, say, because the environment is in such a condition of suffering at the moment. And although we are definitely on the up, I feel, in terms of gathering more energy and more exposure and more understanding of how we can actually help replenish and heal the landscape, and then also replenish our relationships with the other folk as well, and the beings that reside there in the hidden worlds that literally lay alongside us and walk with us, right next to us. Sorry. Yeah, it just feels beautiful. So yeah, so I just want to try and dispel some of people's fears potentially with interacting with that kind of magic, and actually sitting in ritual, sitting in sacred space with these spirits, these beings, and basically just to share my own experiences and offer some advice of what's worked for me, so it might work for someone out there if they feel like they want to also incorporate those aspects, and basically just make it, yeah, a really fun, interesting space. And I really want to learn about what you guys do as well, what works for you, what doesn't, and let's just make this a beautiful space for sharing, and for hopefully sparking a starting off point for new people when they come across the channel, that might create their intrigue and their curiosity to venture down the green path themselves, and they can see what answers they might be able to find, because it definitely is a path that is extremely nourishing, and I feel is extremely important right now at this time in terms of mankind's timeline, because we're really at a very critical point in needing to reclaim and relearn and reintegrate some of the things that our ancestors once held dear to them in how they interacted with the landscape around them as well. So yeah, so that's sort of where I'm hoping the channel will go. So like I said, it will be shifting away from those kinds of readings that I was doing before, and I'll be offering those privately if you're interested. So when that all goes up online, I will share that with you guys as well. I'll still be doing things over on Instagram as well, like the little picker cards. So there will be still card work, and I'll be talking about particular decks that I use, when and how I use them, and what particularly I use them for. So we'll still have the tarot and the oracle as well, but shifting more into ritual work, sacred space, sitting at altar, communing with the spirits, with the green folk, and just having some really good witchy chats. Okay, I hope that you're all really well out there, and I hope you've had a beautiful summer. We're creeping into autumn now, and I have my spiced apple tea, and I love this time of year. So it's really time to start getting magical now, and I hope you all will join me, and I'm sending you loads of love and lots of light, and I hope you have a beautiful day wherever you are. Bye, wildlings.